one in Brooklyn. That was such a legendary vibe. But I remember being like, damn, man, like you and Big Cass weren't even on the card. But then they gave you all a match for the fucking pre-show. That freaking pop when you all came out was crazy. But I still remember.
I was at that show.
You were there, bro.
We were the first things to be fair, we were the first things that came through the curtain, like the very first things.
Yeah, true.
A referee could have came out there, everybody would have jizzed their pants, bro.
I was so amazed that everybody knew every fucking word that you guys were going to say. And
bro, I can't prepare for that shit.
And it was, and then fucking Sasha and Bailey were the main event, and there wasn't a better match the rest of the weekend.
Absolutely. That was to this day. I don't care about women. Don't put them in the stratosphere of best women's match. Like, no, that was one of the best matches I've ever seen live.
Nobody touched that. That fucking NXT fucking brand was so hot right then.
Yeah, they would have let me and Cass out of it, brother. We were fucking itching at the fuck. So we were in that, but they held us in purgatory for a long time. We were in a couple video games as NXT members.
Nah, that's still like the. What do you say about that, Big Kev?
No, go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that's like you say that. Like, I still think it's such a travesty that you guys never got to fucking win the titles. Like, I remember the one you went over to London, bro. I was like, this is fucking it, man. No,
man. I'll tell you what, bro. Everything happens for a reason. Big Cass has a title right now around his waist in AEW.
Oh, yeah, I love it, bro.
And I got to win 2 cruiserweight titles. We're both at this point in our lives. You could say we both accomplished some dreams that we set forth in this business when we got into it. So, like, dude, nothing bitter about that. That's the way the business works. You got 8 matches on a card in the biggest promotion in the world. If you can get on one of those matches, you're fucking lucky.
Yeah.
Right, damn right, man.
James, did you have another question?
So yeah, I'll be quick on it. So Enzo, and I'm gonna ask you too, Big Kev, another question. But Enzo, so at Mania, what the hell was that? Mania 33. Were you guys like gonna win the titles there before the Hardys kind of like came back? I really feel like that was kind of like the vibe there, right? Like I feel like it was heading that way, and then fucking Hardys.
To answer that question, I will say this. Out of that, people come up to you at meet and greets all the time, and they're like, "You guys got robbed, man," or "You got robbed by the Hardy Boys," or whatever. And, like, that's probably they're saying that to my face because they're Enzo and Cass fans, maybe. But, like, bro, for the writing's on the wall the second those motherfuckers come to the curtain, like yeah, dude. Like, no gripes about losing to the Hardy Boys at WrestleMania on my end, but they deserved it, dude. They're to be a part of that match, to be a part of that moment. It's one of the loudest pops in the history of WrestleMania, if not the loudest, when they returned after 9 years. Bro, I dreamed about the Hardy Boys when I was a kid, about wrestling them one day. These after the generation kind of fades out of the Kliq, literally, and all those people that were in it. The next phase of Jeff Hardy was my guy. When Shawn was done, everybody else kind of faded out. And the WWE, you were looking around for somebody if you're a smaller guy like me. And Jeff became my guy. I loved Jeff growing up. So to have that match, that moment, I've never watched it. I've never watched that WrestleMania. I've never seen that match. Never in my life. And I hope maybe like one day if I have kids or a family or something, or, maybe one day sit down with my mom and dad and watch it, but I've never seen it. So maybe if I make a comeback to a then maybe I would sit down and watch it.
What'll happen is somebody will send it to you on a fucking Instagram. You'll say, "Do you remember this?" And you'll watch it and you'll go, "No."
Oh, I've seen the clips of the entrances and shit, but I knew in that moment, man, like there's a moment in the match where me and Cass were laying on the ground, watching Matt, who's about to take the title off the top, right? And it's at the point where there's a shotgun, everybody eat some big shit so that they're out of it, right? And I was the first motherfucker out, right? You know what I mean? Like Enzo's out of here. So I take the first shotgun move. So I get to watch everybody else's shit for real. So I'm laying on the ground looking around at Mania, like selling, but like looking like, you know I'm not on camera and I'm just taking it all the fuck in. And Cass rolls over by me. And we were just, you couldn't explain the electricity that was running through our bodies. Like I could feel every bit of energy in his being when he was shaking my leg, like kayfabe style. And so was I shaking his arm. Like we did it. Like it's over. The match is over. We got through it. We're alive. And like,
Yeah.
oh, holy shit, dude. And all we kept saying to each other was, no one can take this away from us. We just kept saying it on repeat. No one can take it away from us. No one can take it away from us. No one can take it away. We did it. We did it, bro. We did it. We did it. And that was like, after that day, life took a turn because it became business. And that boyhood dream shit just went out the fucking window. I promise you. Like after I scratched that off my bucket list, at that point in my life, like I could have been fired the next day and I would have been okay with it. I was like,
Right.
you know, I had set forth to do one thing and I never thought I would, bro. Like, let alone go on to win titles and main event Raw after that and things. Let's just be real, right? I was a clown. They don't push a clown. I fit in on the card. I could get on the show. It didn't matter how over I got. I just never thought they would push me. So I never thought anyone would sell for me. I never thought I never wanted to play the game of politics where I got to push to win and backstage. And, you know, I should be going over on this guy. And it's like, if I was playing that game, like I'm the most over guy we got. Why the fuck ain't I winning? Why ain't there titles on? Why don't I have these strap on me, motherfucker? Like, but that was never it. I was lucky to be there. And I just thought to myself, like, I did way, when I look at it retrospect, like way more than I ever thought I would. Becoming an action figure, getting in a video game, doing a Mania, winning a title, like all that was all I didn't think those things would happen. So when they did happen, I never had expectations.
Mm-hmm. Very good. James, you
Yeah.
had something for Kev you said before we go,
Oh,
right?
yeah, and that went off Enzo. Me and my brother were watching that Mania. So the New Day comes out, right? And they're like, you know, we're gonna announce another person there. My buddy bumps into the Xbox controller we're streaming on, pauses it. So, yo, let me just refresh that. Refreshes it. Hardy Boys are standing in the ring. I'm like, what the hell you just spoiled, bro? Like one of the hottest pops ever. Didn't even fucking see it. I was like, bro, come on, man. I guess we were slightly behind and did not realize that shit.
That
Man.
sucks.
But I don't think I've actually went back and watched it, but maybe I'll have to. Nah, so just with with both y'all being in like big tag teams, like when you inevitably the breakup, do you guys have any say in that? Like, but Big Kev was gonna ask you with the Outsiders. My boy was actually just like watching old Nitros, and he was like, "Yo, you should ask Kev about that shit." Like when you and Scott broke up, like what goes on there? Did they say, "Hey, like we think this is Brandon's course"?
No, what happened was that there was actual like real friction between me and Hulk, and it would have made sense, with Hulk and Randy, being fucking running together during their era. Like basically, they took Scott away from me because they knew that fucking they were on a coolness level. If they didn't have Scott, they were fucked. But once you pull Scott away from me, then you also pull away the guy that keeps Scott on the right side of the track.
Yeah.
So as soon as you pull him away, and I don't have anything to do with his daily being, then he's gonna fuck up, and that's just what happened. Next thing you know, he's getting, they're trying to fire his ass.
Yeah.
James, thank you so much for participating. We got Ray on deck. Come on down, Ray.
We used to always say, Scott, X-Pac, and I, that the three of us together in a car, fucking, if nobody spoke and we just fucking drove, it was one complete human being. We needed all three of us.